The Caledonia Warriors are getting ready for the sectional semifinals against Lewiston Altura. Head coach Carl Fruechte joining us. The Warriors had a first round bye in the first round of sectionals. Your regular season finale last week, coach. Pretty impressive performance against a pretty good team. 40-0 win over Pine Island. What were the takeaways from that game?
Yeah, well, first of all, yeah, really proud of Pine Island's coached by a former player of ours, Mitch Schultz. Just great family. Was a great player for us. Great example. I think he's doing a great job up there at Pine Island. Really, really doing a great job with their culture, Darren. So we feel very fortunate. Real good football team. We got a few, you know, turnovers, which is huge. Our kids just played with great attitude and effort. That's been the theme of our program, right? To be uncommon, to be different than everybody else. And to me, it really, really is hitting home everywhere in the state when I talk to coaches, even coaches from as far as Ohio about, the attitude and effort of kids or getting down by a touchdown or, just how our society has just sort of fallen into that trap of well it's over, and we don't want to fall into that trap, Darren. And so we were very fortunate to get up on Pine Island, and their kids played hard the entire game. I know what Mitch is teaching his young people, and the score is a little bit, it was much closer, Darren, than that. But just honestly, we're just looking for attitude and effort. And I know I sound like a broken record, but uh, it's sort of the thing right now that is got to be taught to young people.
How do you go about teaching that with these societal pressures?
I think you bring up instances of alumni where they talk to you about, here's how I took what we learned from sport or football in particular. Here's how I'm applying it to my family, to my how I'm raising my kids, how me and my wife are interacting, what's happening at work. Just had a great talk yesterday with Jared Heggie, former player, um, great man, just talking about how he has applied what we've taught. It's very humbling to his workforce, and he gets to hire and fire people. And we just went down that rabbit trail, what to look for in a young person and how to inspire them to, you got to take care of your wife, you got to take care of your bills. And we try to find examples from former players.
And this week, back to the game of football. Obviously, this time of year is anything but routine for any
Yeah,
Minnesota high school football
yeah,
team. And you get thrown a little bit even more out of whack because you go a week and a half without playing a football game with the bye. How do
yeah.
you try to make this week as routine as you possibly can, knowing the schedule?
Yeah, so you sort of prep them like, 2 weeks before the end of the season, to be honest with you, Darren. And you sort of talk them through the scenarios and you talk about how you got to be, invested into every game. And here's what happens if we do this and so on and so on. And you prep them. Here's when we're going to have practice. Here's when we're going to give you a day off. Here's who we think we're going to play. Here's who we could play. And, you sort of fill it all in and let them know, like, here's the opportunities that we have.
And how has the guys been managing that to this point?
Yeah, I think they're doing fine. I mean, again, Darren, I think you can sort of tell we like to throw a lot on our kids. To again, it's uh, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's about getting them ready for real life. And so you got to say, here it is. You got to do your part. We'll do our part, and you got to step up. And I think they're, again, I think they're doing really well. I mean, uh, I think we learned a lot from Triton. They did a great job, and again, right? That's the mark of a man. Are you going to learn from your mistakes, or are you going to get, are you just going to, oh, ho hum, doesn't matter. So right now, we're excited about playing Lewiston Altura. Brent Olson does a great job. He and I are good friends. I have a lot of respect for what they do. Todd, their D coordinator up there. We got, Ryan Eppin is a former Caledonia guy that's their AD. We got a lot of respect for Lewiston. They do a great job with their wing T. Got a couple really shifty running backs. Um, Actually, Darren, if I can say this, because I get so tired of people, well, I'm not big enough. I'm not big enough. Lewiston has this number 5. I swear, Darren, he looks like he must weigh 130 pounds, but he is tough as a nail. He really jitterbug. I just really enjoyed watching him. We snuck up there Tuesday to watch it, watch Lewiston. Uh, my Brent Knutson, coach of ours, he was like, Carl, I don't even know if he weighs 130, and I just love that. I just think that is awesome. We need kids to come on out and quit worrying about their weight and how tall and how short or what they weigh. And yeah, we're gonna have a dogfight Saturday.
So you're saying it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog, right?
Right on. Yeah, and I think we gotta call that out and let people know. And to me, it's we got great respect for what they're doing at Lewiston. Another quick story. We scrimmaged Minneapolis North this summer, and they had a quarterback too that I'm telling you, Darren. I asked him, and he said he weighed 145 pounds, and he was a quarterback for Minneapolis North. And I thanked him. I said, "Good for you for being out for football and being the quarterback and not being scared." And he was fearless. It was just awesome. So, you know, we got to quit worrying about the weight and worry about technique and hand placement and foot speed and just grit. So hats off to those kids.
How do you instill that mindset?
You got to when they're in third, fourth, fifth grade. I hear it all the time. It's just right. It's human nature, sort of that victimhood. I'm to this, I'm to that. Give us a chance. We can get you faster. We can get you stronger. It's the mindset of a young kid. And if you're always telling them what they can't do and telling them, here's what you can do. If you work, you can change their mindset. And I'd like to think that we've done a little bit of that at Caledonia High School, not just football, all of our sports. You got to have that can-do attitude and don't worry about how light you are. And of course, Darren, you're not going to get everybody in some, I'm just too small. Well, that's not true, but we got to try, right?
No doubt about it. Getting back to the Saturday matchup against Lewiston and Altura, there are only two losses this year, or two very good Class A teams in Fillmore Central and Goodhue. What about this year's edition of Lewiston and Altura makes them a tough team?
They just look like right in the wing tee. You're always looking for down blocks and kickouts, right? And like I said, their two running backs are very shifty. Their fullback is good too. Don't get me wrong. It seemed to me like they rotated with their fullback, but their two wingback guys are very shifty. And if we don't break down, have quick feet, quick shoulders, and get our head across their their wingback, we're going to be in trouble. Their linemen just do a very good job. Down, 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 kick out, and you got whenever you play the wing tee, you got to be gap sound. You can't be worried about your buddy over on the other side. You got to take care of your gap because all of a sudden here it comes back at you. So they're very disciplined. Brent's got them going with that wing tee and does a great job. And right, the reason people run the wing tee, the reason it works in high school is because kids get undisciplined and don't take care of their gap. The reason it doesn't work at the higher levels is because they just destroy the offensive line and blow it all up and get them. So it's a very good high school offense, and I'm not. I've told people if I was going to take over a different program, I'd go to a different school and start a new program. I'd probably start with the wing tee, to be real honest with you.
All right, Coach. Ought to be a fun matchup coming up this Saturday. Keep your kids healthy. We wish you best of luck, and hopefully we can have another conversation next week.
Yeah, that would be fun, Darren. I sure hope so. Thank you, sir.
Carl Fruechte, head coach of the Caledonia Warriors. It's Caledonia and Lewiston Altura Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock.